In queer culture, your bar becomes your family and becomes your friends. It becomes your dating pool.
We are often operating from a scarcity mindset. We deserve to have all different kinds of places that celebrate the different kinds of identities that exist.
Lesbian bars enabled women to find an alternative home.
My name is Lisa Menachino. I'm the owner of the Cubby Hole. I've worked for Cubby for 20 years, and then I became the owner 3 years ago when the original owner, Tanya Saunders, passed away. Tanya wanted a bar that would be open to everyone. She wanted it to be a lesbian bar where straight people would feel welcome, trans people would feel welcome, where neighborhood people would feel welcome. And that's what she created, and that's what I'm continuing.
Dream, bitches. Hi.
Good to see you.
You know what I really wish I could have?
I would say a shot and a beer.
And let's make it Jaeger.
Okay.
Oh, I love a New York spring day, huh? Gorgeous. Okay, here is... Needed a beer first. The $1 million question. I get asked this all the time, so I'm gonna just ask you what you think it is. Why are the dyke bars disappearing?
It used to be that the lesbian bar was really the only place you could go to meet anyone, whether it was romantic, whether it was social. I mean, you didn't have really any access to anything else, really. As mainstream society started to accept gay people more and more, you didn't need to just go to a lesbian bar. You know, you take it for granted.
Yes.
Not realizing that, no, it's something you have to support, something you have to nurture, something you have to go to.
That's why we want to keep places like the Cubby Hole open, so that our younger generation can also experience the camaraderie that we experience, you know, being in a bar together, and hopefully also gain some of that history that you're talking about. I mean, I fear for our children of our community because they don't seem to know the history. They don't seem to know how hard we fought to have a place like the Cubby Hole. No, you know, so they need to be out there supporting these establishments.
I'm Shanta Smith-Cruz, and I'm a volunteer, co-coordinator, or archivette at the Lesbian Her Story Archives.
My name is Gwen Shockey. I'm an artist and an educator, and I live and work in Brooklyn, New York.
When thinking about why we need to preserve lesbian spaces, it really is about recognizing that a lesbian exists, and there's the really great pride in lesbian identity.
I started gathering addresses of bar spaces that had once existed in which these women were coming out. When one doesn't have a history or a sense of history or belonging in our society, it can feel incredibly dislocating. Bonnie and Clyde's opened in 1971 and closed in 1982. It was one of the first lesbian bar spaces that was really managed and run by a woman. And this was at a time when it wasn't even possible for women to get loans signed without a man's signature. Bonnie and Clyde's would only let in maybe 2 to 3 Black women. This sort of unspoken race-based quota at the door. Black lesbians felt hugely discriminated against.
The Salsa Soul Sisters is the first Black and Latina lesbian organization in the country. It formed as a response to a lack of organizing for Black and Latina women. And we created a map that really highlighted the different places where they had events. Some of it would be at a cafe or at a restaurant. The first official meeting spot for the Salsa Soul Sisters was at the Washington Square Methodist Church in the West Village.
Meow Mix was an incredible lesbian bar. It was open from 1996 to 2004. At that time was a huge desire for more visibility, along with the riot girl scene in the music industry and women pushing back against the patriarchy. Meow-Mix wasn't necessarily trying to hide or keep secret the activity that was going on inside of it.
The late 90s was definitely very precious because it was the last incarnation of the Piers of its type. The Pier was this free location where you could sit, and the bar is the place you went if you had cash. People from all over the city, mostly black and brown bodies, would go to the Pier. We were doctoring our own experience. People were free to be themselves. That was really affirming to who people were and who people were trying to become. Archiving the stories is healing because it really shows the work that we had been doing despite the evil forces that have shut us down.
I'm Jo McDaniel. I'm one of the owners of As You Are Bar, and I live in Washington, D.C. In August of 2018, I was tapped to be the general manager and open a League of Her Own, which was the first women's bar to open in DC since the historic Phase 1 closed. Rach and I decided to leave a League of Her Own to begin my real passion project and create As You Are Bar. Our motto is everything from love. The mission of As You Are Bar is full inclusivity, is that we celebrate, we don't just tolerate queer culture.
Our side of the bar, is that going to be recorded or are we doing that one live?
Babe, where are we with LP's stuff? This has been a mission of mine for several years to never call a bar I work at just a lesbian bar. It can be a lesbian bar and. I've always been interviewed saying lesbian/queer. I'm trying to think about our setup. Do we want to do something different? Our goal with As You Are is to change the narrative around nightlife. It doesn't just have to be about booze. It doesn't just have to be about dark and loud. As You Are Bar is a community center. You have an enormous responsibility to take care of the people who come in.
My name is Whit Washington. I am an attorney and I live in DC. Aloha was the first place that I started using they, them pronouns. I met the amazing Liz at Aloha. Liz, who is now my fiance, I fell in love with her the moment that I saw her.
I think it's so impressive that you went to law school, passed the bar, and are now actively advocating from a position kind of power, because people will listen to you, for people who are incarcerated.
The other piece of it is when you're looking at specifically trans folks who are incarcerated, a lot of the reasons that trans folks end up in prison is because of the way society discriminates against them. And so it happens both on the front end and on the back end. And then you have a criminal record. So it's not only that you're trans, it's also that you have a criminal record and you sort of have this double ding against you.
And I think that's why the concept of banning the box is so important for As You Are Bar, because it's pay disparity for our community and it's job security. Our jobs aren't secure. So for us as an employer to be able to offer that and to ban the box, to not make someone check off whether or not they've been convicted of a crime, like that's not information that's going to tell me whether or not you're going to be able to help me keep this space safe and help us keep this mission. Because society has been built against us, we don't have the leisure dollars to spend to keep queer spaces open.
So when do you think you'll be able to open As You Are Bar?
Right now, we know for sure 2021.
I will be the first person in line opening night.
I love having this much light. Rach and I have chosen Mim as our first compensated contributor to the culture of As You Are. She pays attention to a dance floor like no one I know. I can honestly say I do not think I would have taken this leap if we hadn't been in a pandemic. quarantine, the forcing of stillness on the population shifted so many perspectives. I was really forced to look at my priorities. We owe it to each other to keep our bars alive.
My name is Sheila Smallman.
And my name is Rachel Smallman, and Sheila and I are the co-owners of hers. Being lesbians on the Gulf Coast, we were looking for a place that we felt safe in, and we just happened to go into this one bar, and they totally ran us out because we were females. And so that was the day, I believe that weekend, we started talking about we're gonna open a lesbian bar.
We opened hers October the 4th, 2019.
They said, you're gonna have to change that. If you say it's a lesbian bar, nobody's gonna come. I said, I'm not gonna change it. It's a lesbian bar, but you're welcome to come.
Hers is our baby.
When you walk into the door at hers, the service steps up. It does not go down until you're out of there. That's when the service ends. And that's the way it should be.
It's clean. There's no empty glasses. There's no trash on the floor, inside or out. I just can't be still because I want you to come back the next day, and the next day. We've made so many differences in so many people's lives, and it has been so amazing.
My name is Kimberly McCain. I'm a civil rights organizer and an LGBTQ activist. I'm running for city council because LGBTQ plus people are definitely looking for change. We're looking for true equity in our local politics, and that is exactly why we need a seat at the Mobile City Council. We have our birthday parties at hers. We have our campaign events. It brings us together as a family, so I would almost say hers is a home away from home.
Girls, hey! Oh my gosh, I'll hug you. It's been so long. It's been so long since we've seen you.
I know where y'all been.
Good to see you.
All over.
Hey, sweetheart, how are you?
Good. Oh my goodness.
Nice to see you. You too. My love. Good to see you. Yes, so I'm excited about tonight, though.
Me too.
And of course, we got Kim McNeil, her first political speech.
I know. I'm so nervous about my campaign speech tonight.
You'll kill it.
I don't know, y'all. But if I don't, I know that I'm in a safe space.
So, okay, being like a gay man working in a lesbian bar, first of all, I'm super proud to be working for two beautiful, strong black women. Like, I mean, that is super dope. It actually makes me want to come back to work.
I present masculine. I don't, like, people don't understand me here necessarily. But I know that my family has me and that, like, my bar has me. Like, no matter what.
Hi, everyone. Hey. Rachel and I would like to thank each and every one of you for supporting us along the way, for helping us to get where we are today, and we are going to continue to pay it forward.
And I want you to take a moment to just look at each other and scan this room right now and really see what I'm seeing. Because I can tell you, it's not been that many years ago that what we have going right now at this moment would have landed every one of us in prison.
It's a safe space for us lesbians to come and to be butch, be femme, be anything we want to be, because hers is one of our community centers. Thank you for being community leaders and lesbian bar owners.
You know, when the pandemic started, it was really a time of reflection, a time of reconnecting not only to your loved ones, but to nature. My quiet voice was saying, you can do this, you can make it through this. You've been through worse. Just stay focused. If we don't fight for our people, who will? You know, and that's what we feel like we're doing, because down here in the South, being gay is a no-no, period. But we're out and we're proud. And we're not apologetic for it. And I think it's time for someone to bring that to Alabama. I have I've been asked so many times here recently, what do you want out of this? I said, I don't want anything. I want to have my little girl bar on the corner. I'm not gonna stop.
My name is Lisa Canastrasi. I live in Greenwich Village, NYC. I own Henrietta Hudson with my business partner, Minnie Rivera. The reason Henrietta Hudson has survived is because we keep our ear to the ground. Every 7 years, without being prompted and without thinking about it, I just know intuitively I have to make a change. And the way that I know that is just talking to customers and being around young people. One of the primary reasons that we are converting... I came up with this concept to do a cafe. The cafe is going to allow alternative ways for queers to inhabit space. The reason we wanted to create a new logo was because a lot of women who love women do not identify as lesbian, and that's okay. Something we didn't have in the past was the language or the space to really express ourselves. And now we have the space and the language, and so people can be more definitive and precise about who they know they are. We have to break the cycle of being exclusionary within our own communities. I'm so excited to be able to serve the community again because that is the most favorite part of what I do. I absolutely love to see people smile. That's what moves me, that's what motivates me.
What's going on? Oh my God! Oh my God, I'm so happy to see you in the flesh. It's great to see you. Thank you for flying in.
When you go into a space that's geared towards the whole queer community, when people walk through that door, you can see their shoulders going down. You can see them exhaling and slipping into a bar stool. And, you know, that's what it's all about. Henrietta Hudson is a queer human bar built by lesbians.
Lesbian bars are changing. We're not removing the term lesbian, the concept of lesbianism. We are merely adding to it.
The important thing is to move toward that queer model of ensuring that everyone has a space and everyone feels comfortable.
And in the South, when we have very few places to go, we need lesbian bars because it is our community center.
Our lesbian bars are opening their doors beyond their physical spaces. We are a movement.
You know, as gay people, we have what we like to call a chosen family. You know what I'm talking
absolutely.
about. And I always think of the cubbyhole as my chosen family.
Oh my God, Leah, you're gonna make me cry. That's. Thank you for such a touching comment.
And every time I hang out with my family, I get rip-roaring drunk.
But, you know.
What if you felt the way I felt about you?